Jake.
I'm Tom.
We are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, the best kept secret in music reviews. Today we're going to review an album. Actually, this one came out a couple months ago, but with the upcoming music festival coming close to our hometown, 8035, held in downtown Des Moines. This band's coming. We're really excited to see them because they're a band that I've lightly followed them for a couple years, since 2010. The band is called Wavves. This is their fourth album, Afraid of Heights. Wavves is a surf rock band from California, or surfer rock, whatever is your flavor. That actually 4 albums. They haven't been out for that long.
No, they really pump them out.
They do, and I think there's reasons for that, which we'll get to. But this album definitely, I think, is a more polished version than some of their previous work. You know, it's a bit more mainstream sounding. Definitely has higher production quality, and a bit more serious too. So I really think that. You know, this is an interesting album to take in, and it's going to be, I think, really interesting seeing the live show, because to me, this is just would be a really fun live show.
Yeah, just good kind of punk energy, fun, upbeat rock.
Totally. And from the moment I put on Afraid of Heights, I definitely got a Weezer vibe from this. You know, just out of the guitars, just the nonchalant attitude that came out of
some Nirvanas too.
Definitely some grunge in there, which you know it's an interesting take. You know, I've heard a lot. There's been so many artists who have done that, who have done this style of music. So the first thing that I'm thinking is, what does Wavves bring to the table on Afraid of Heights? How do they change this up? And really, it's in the catchiness, it's in the hooks, and that's what really kind of caught me about this album right off the bat. At first, I actually liked this album pretty well. I've come down on it since then, and the reason, and I'll get to reasons as to why. I noticed a lot of thrashy, almost like dirty garage guitar, and just these repeated riffs that are a lot of fun. And then these big choruses. They usually have like catchy vocals, hooks in the chorus, sometimes even harmonized vocals in the chorus, which is something that I think is always helps sell a chorus, a vocal-centered chorus. And you know, but I think a lot of the tracks on this album, Sail to the Sun, Demon to Lean On, Dog, You Like Mystic, you know, a lot of my favorite tracks and your favorite tracks seem to be on the first part of the album. What was your take on Afraid of Heights?
Yeah, I totally agree. I was attracted to the sound. It's a sound that I like. So from there, it just kind of comes down to the songwriting, and even more importantly than the songwriting, just how they're able to mix it up, because it's a sound that's easy to get pigeonholed in and kind of just get stuck in. If you get stuck in a rut on a sound like this, then it's kind of the death knell for you. And I feel like they did that a little bit. It could have been much worse. This was still a good album, but I feel like mostly in the middle of the album is where it just kind of lags a little bit.
It definitely does. There's this giant sag in tracks 6 through 9. I feel like they're using a lot of the same structures. From tracks 1 through 9, they're using a lot of very similar structures. There's not a lot of new ideas presented. So I think that's honestly why all of our track picks are in the first first third of the album.
Well, also my favorite tracks tended to be the ones that were just different from the formula that's presented most of the time. You listen to track 3, Mystic, and it's a little bit more of a kind of a psychedelic kind of experimental approach, similar to Everything Is My Fault, which actually wasn't a track pick of mine, but if I picked another one, that'd probably be it. And then track 5, Dog, which it's not necessarily experimental, but it's a good down point in the dynamics.
Well, it adds you know, a more prominent bass line. It has violin in it, you know.
And it's a little more sentimental.
Absolutely, and it added that emotional vibe that I think that the album had lacked up until that point. But then, it just sags in the middle. You get a little bit more of experimentation in the end. I think tracks 10 and 11, Everything Is My Fault, That's On Me, I think those 2 tracks really work to experiment, to break the mold a little bit per se, and kind of change Wavves' sound. I would have liked to have seen more of that scattered throughout this album, more atmosphere, more change in ideas in the approach to the general sound of this album. So I feel like, then it goes to track 12, Give Me a Knife, it's a surf anthem. It's surf rock anthem. It has to be, and then ending the album with I Can't Dream, which is a nice closer to the album. This album comes off as warm and fun, but the more I listen to it, the more I'm like, I want more ideas. I want more content. I want more of a reason to care about Afraid of Heights. So overall, I felt like, while I really enjoyed the charm that this record presents, and I'm super pumped to see these guys live, just because I think that it'll be a really fun, upbeat show, I still want more experimentation. I want more genuine new content in a new direction, which I think that, on Afraid of Heights, you're seeing them experiment a little bit here. So it's kind of exciting to see where this band could go. I mean, this is 4th album in just a few years, so they could really do some cool stuff. Tom, what were you thinking for this
I'm
album?
going 66.
I'm going 66 as well.
All right.
66, score in the upper 60s. For us, that means the album's pretty good. It has some flaws in it that we wish could have been created for a or fixed for a more cohesive listening experience. But generally, there are a lot of positive qualities to Afraid of Heights. What did you guys think? Leave us a comment at www.velocitiesandmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. Also, please let us know what your favorite Wavves record is, since we're going to be seeing them live. Hopefully, we get to at least give you guys some feedback as to how the show was, and maybe even an artist interview. I feel like Wavves is in the grass that we could potentially interview them.
Yeah.
We're going to try to line that up. And also, please follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and tell us what albums from 2013 you'd like to see us review. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Moving Music Critique Forward.
Still I'll be your dog. Still I'll be